Welcome to the Championship Show, and I'm here again. Well, it's just me and you, isn't it? It's just the Simo and Hendo show on the All League app. A great way to finish off the Championship season,
Fantastic.
The traditional rounds. Obviously, Toronto win the league, earning a week off. We've got some massive playoffs starting this week.
We do.
How good has Championship been this year?
Oh, look, it's been a fantastic competition, hasn't it? I mean, even up to really the last sort of 2 weeks, we didn't know what the makeup of the top 5 was going to be.
Yeah.
Even the final round, we weren't sure there was that many permutations in terms of how the playoff structure could look, in terms of where teams finished. So there was plenty to play for there. Even the relegation battle, I mean, that was right in the balance here, again, up to the last couple of weeks. So, we've seen the rise of some teams, like the York City Knights. I mean, what a story that's been. But we've also seen the fall of some teams, you know, in terms of the Rochdale Hornets, who have been in the Championship the last couple of years and now, unfortunately, will bow out into League One. But we've seen, some of the disruption that's happened at Widnes and the things they've had to deal with through the year and how they've had to come through that. We've seen, some sad times, the unfortunate things that happened with young Archie Bruce at Batley.
Also, the Swinton Lions, now the Manchester Lions.
The Swinton Lions, who now become the Manchester. The season they've had, the young team, how they've grown over the season. Now, the way they started, they were just falling short, competing hard, but then have grown and have become a real force at the back end. The Sheffield Eagles going on to win the AB Sundex 1895 Cup, outstanding at Wembley. Again, but they started the season on fire. We're looking like a top 3 contender, not let alone top 5. Unfortunately, their league form has fallen away at the back end, but have come away with cup success. So, look, there's been plenty of stories there. Plenty of stories, plenty of talking points. The Bradford Bulls as well. The way that they've progressed as well, from coming up from League One to finish in the top 6. Some of the stories have come out now. The move they're going to have to make to Dewsbury. But hey, there's been plenty of talking points, but we've seen some fantastic rugby league. We've seen some great talent unearthed and on show. And like I said, I'm really, really looking forward to this playoff campaign. Who will get promoted?
Who will get promoted? Toronto Wolfpack. I'm telling you now. Toronto Wolfpack.
It should be Toronto.
Could it be someone else?
It could be. You never know.
If he's not Toronto, who do you think? Toulouse?
Toulouse, well, they've
beat Toronto
this year, so they've got the makings. But I still think Featherstone are a bit of a dark horse for me.
Man, I love it.
They've got some quality players in there. Lee Centurions, you can't discount them either. The quality they have in their ranks, and even the York City Knights. I mean, no one really mentions them, but they don't have the stars on paper. But geez, they're a good team, and a good team counts for something. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But we'll soon find out.
We're going to start right now with a feature game, and we're going to go over to Featherstone, to the LD Nutrition Stadium, as Featherstone take on Toulouse.
King decides to go himself. He's seen a gap past King. Has King got over this time? He certainly has. He throws the ball into the crowd behind the sticks. King waits at dummy half. He's going himself. King's got 2. He's done it again. A brace for
He's a specialist, isn't he?
in this set. Toulouse have. Bye-bye to Robban. It's an interception by Dane Chisholm. Dane Chisholm is going to race under the post for Featherstone Rovers. Oh yes, Featherstone, that's how you respond. Great intercepts by Dane Chisholm. Marion to Robban. Out to that right-hand side, they're in a gap at Toulouse and they're going to go over for their first try. So Featherstone need to be on the guard here. It's a short pass and they've got over of Toulouse for a try. He was. Kerala skipping around, he's dangerous, he gets the ball on the inside and Toulouse are going to go in for a try here from Dean Perata. Down 10 metres out. James Bell to Robban. Robban's going to go over for Toulouse, and that's where Featherstone have let Toulouse in there, really. Just tackle on a dare just before the line. Ford, flat pass to Perata. Perata goes in for the try that surely seals this game for Toulouse now. The ball from him to Jones to Lockwood. Lockwood out the back to Chisholm. Chisholm on the reverse to Sutcliffe, who finds a bit of... Sutcliffe collides with the post. I think he gets over though. He certainly does. Featherstone get those players behind, those fans behind the posts are. It's a dissatisfying end to the game.
What a game this was, Hendo. Unbelievable. Featherstone 24, Toulouse 26, and Toulouse just showing that bit of extra class.
Well, I mean, Featherstone blew an 18-0 lead.
Yeah.
They were 18-0 up. Fantastic start for them.
You can't lose a game like that, can you? If you're going into playoffs.
I tipped Featherstone to win at home this week. I just thought they'd have a little bit too much for Toulouse. And certainly the showings early in the game, it was showing that way, wasn't it? 18-0 up, in command, in control. I don't think the fact they lost a few players, I know they lost Cooper and Brad Day and Cameron King throughout the game.
Yeah.
Neither of those players returned. So I think that, in some respects, put a bit of heat on them in that second half in terms of the juice coming off the bench. I mean, James Lockwood, sterling performance, 80 minutes there, the big fella in the middle, did a great job. There was some controversy as well. The Ormonroyd try at the end. People are saying it was a try, it got ruled out. Potentially that could have gone in his favour. But hey, listen, at the end of the day, you've got to give credit to Toulouse. To come back from 18-0 down against a very, very good Featherstone side, that takes some doing. Fantastic result for them, disappointment for Featherstone. But I think the main thing for them would be the concern over Cameron King and the other two lads, Cooper and Brad Day. They'll want to make sure that they're ready to go because it's do or die now, isn't it, against the Centurions?
Toronto 46, Lee 12. Lee have just dropped off in the last few weeks. Don't know why, really. It's been a bit strange. Since the Widnes defeat in the AB Sundex semi-final, it's just been a tough carry for those guys. Kev Brown's come in, he scored this weekend, but Toronto looking pretty much unstoppable right now. The league form and just the whole mentality in every game, they just seem to get better. And they really look like that Max got the playing the kind of footy that he had. The Leeds Rhinos playing well in his pomp.
Yes. I just think it's been an interesting journey for Toronto. Yep. Obviously, all the focus and the spotlight is on them, aren't they? They're full time. The quality of their squad at their disposal. We know they pay up to the cap, and they've got effectively a Super League squad on paper at their disposal there. And like you said, there is high expectation from Toronto, from their owners, from their fans, and I think people within the British game themselves probably expect them to win it and do well. But it's been an interesting journey. They started the season pretty well. Then they had a little bit of a blip for a few weeks where they found it tough, still winning games, but just weren't playing very well. And then they got onto a real good bit of form again. And then a couple of weeks they kind of dropped off the horse a little bit. But this I reckon this last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, Alex, I think you just said it there, they've been building really, really nicely. They're playing well. Yeah. I think they're playing well. That's the key. It's not that they're just finding a scrappy, ugly win here or there, or just scratching Basel, just doing enough. They're actually playing really well. They're defending well. They're attacking well. The cohesion, the continuity is there. The confidence and the belief is there. You can see it within the group. So I think they are poised for promotion to the Super League. But as we've seen before, anything can happen in these playoffs. But the Centurions, as you mentioned there, haven't been quite at their best the last few weeks. And it's an interesting one, Alex, because they've had a core of a side together for most of the year. They've done reasonably well, that side. Now, obviously, there's been some funds injected in for Coach Duffy to bring personnel on board to try and go for this promotion push. And it's a strange one because sometimes it can have a real positive effect. You bring in these extra bodies, it brings fresh energy, it brings, obviously some better quality of players can breathe life into the team and it can take you from strength to strength. But sometimes as well, it can have a different effect. They come in, some of the people that have been playing there regularly week in, week out, get their noses pushed out of joint a little bit. You know what I mean? Think, well, hang on, I've been doing a good enough job. Why now am I sort of sitting out? And it's also then trying to build new combinations and that cohesion within the team within a short period leading into the playoffs can sometimes prove difficult. And that may be a reason why they're not quite been hitting the straps of late. But certainly do not discount them in this playoff campaign because you can see on paper the squad they have, mate. They've got the ability to push on.
Halifax 8, 14 points to York. Another away win for York. Grinding out another win. The same amount of tries scored by both sides. The kicks were the difference. And obviously when you've got Connor Robinson kicking them, you've always got a chance. Yeah, look,
fantastic result there for York. It meant obviously the result that they would finish third no matter what, at minimum. So well done to them.
What an effort.
Look, to say they've been promoted from League One, they were not everybody's favourites to get promoted from League One. They did that. And probably the remit would have been probably from the board of directors there and the CEO to coach forward was, look, let's just stay up, let's consolidate, and then we'll just keep building the team and building the squad as we go on. And, they've just hit it out of the park, haven't they? They've finished in the top three is remarkable, really.
Did you see the crowd? 500 fans.
Yes,
travelled down, and most of them in the fancy dress, Hawaiian shirts. Epic effort from the York fans. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Proper rugby league. I love it. Like Blackpool all over again.
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. But look, in terms of the game itself, I thought it was a great game of rugby league. You know, and again, it's probably very similar to what we spoke about when we were talking in the League One show before, Alex. You know, it's probably a good thing for York that, but in a close, tough, gritty game, it probably just sets them up well for the playoffs, because we know that for them, you know, the playoff games are going to be tight contests. They're going to be gritty. They're going to have to grind teams down. That's the mentality they're going to have to go into in these playoffs if they're going to progress on. So I think this game actually was probably good practice for that, is what I'm trying to say. So credit to Halifax. They turned up to try and give their players and their fans a bit of a send off and a finish on a high. Just wasn't quite good enough on the day for them. And well done again to York, because they just again show great character, great team spirit, and the ability to grind the opposition down and come away with a win. Well done.
Congratulations to Jody Broughton as well, signing for Halifax today. It's great to see you back in the UK, mate, and we'll catch up very soon. Swinton 48, Sheffield 16, and we've got to mention him, heading his way to Warrington. Matt Ashton signing off with 5 tries.
Unbelievable.
It's not easy to score 5 tries in one game.
No, it isn't. There's not many players that have done that, have they?
No.
You know what I mean? So, no, fantastic. And again, you know,
it's so
Swinton.
quick.
But again, I want to talk about Swinton. What a story. You know, the way, you know, they lost, obviously, you know, they lost a bit of funds, I think, early in the year. They didn't have the money to recruit who they wanted to recruit. They took on a lot of young players that were looking for an opportunity. So you've got to give credit to Stuart Littler there. You know, he's been able to get a group of, because it's a very young team, that Swinton side. He hasn't had the luxury of having a lot of money to spend to go and get some experience in. So with a young side, he's been able to galvanise them. He's been able to give them confidence and belief. You know, the last 4 home games, they've won their last 4 home games, which is great. That would be great confidence building going into next season. A disappointment for Sheffield. I know Mark Aston would have wanted to finish on a high. Probably feels since they've won the cup, they've just put the cue in the rack a little bit. And I know for him, he's a hard taskmaster. He'd be a little bit disappointed, but you've got to give credit there for you know, for Swinton. It's a fantastic win at home. You know, before they make the switch now to become Manchester Lions next season. Well done to the Lions.
Well done to the Lions.
Absolutely.
Rochdale 0, Bradford 82. Huge win. Dalton Grant replacing Jai Hitchcock's, the injured Jai Hitchcock's getting a hat-trick. The Welsh wonder. Joe Keys of the couple. He's also Jamaican, so might try and poach him for Jamaica, who knows. Ross Peltier, the big Jamaican, going over. I think everyone scored, by the looks of things, 82 points. Bradford, where do we start with Bradford? Obviously going over to Dewsbury next year.
Yes.
Is a real disappointment for people of Bradford to lose a club in the heart of the city. But I suppose it is a sensible decision financially to keep the club alive.
That's
but
right.
ultimately, we're not going to speak so much about it. It's a sad day to see the Bulls bow out of Bradford. Yeah,
it is. We spoke about this a couple of weeks ago on the show. And the reality is we still want the Bradford Bulls alive and kicking in this competition. And, you know, they bring a lot to the party. They're a good side. They've got a great fan base. They've got a great youth program in place there. And yes, they're having to move out the city and be accommodated elsewhere now for a couple of years. And yes, it's not ideal. It's not where people want to be going to support their club, because their club is from Bradford. They want to be going to Bradford. They're Bradford people. But the reality is that's what's going to have to happen. But I'm just hoping that John Keir can, with that sort of news, and I know they had some special measures put in place in that at one point. I'm hoping that will be, you know, all sorted, and they'll be allowed to sign new players and keep the core of this side, because the core of this team has been good.
Side.
It's been good. So they just need a little bit of icing on the cake now to give them a chance of progression, don't they? Their core of that team needs to stay together. It's important they have that, Bradford, to have that continuity, you know. But hey, listen, that was a fantastic result for Bradford. Let's not kid ourselves. 82-0. Well done to them. Some standout performances from those guys too.
Enjoy Mad Monday. Hey, Dewsbury 8, Widnes 22.
Yep.
Rob Warrency, we've got to talk about him, the old dog. I seen him in Tesco. I seen him in Tesco last night, and I walked in there. He caught me buying ice cream, Ben & Jerry's. He went, "You're not going to get slim eating that."
Yeah.
But yeah, Rob Warrency with a brace for Dewsbury. But Widnes getting over there, 22 points away from home, and it's it's a good win, and they're going to want to build next year.
Yeah, no, look, it was important, I think, for both teams. I mean, there is a slight financial gain where you place in the league, so there was that to play for. I tipped Dewsbury in this game. I thought they were going to show enough resolve and character at home to overcome, an inconsistent Widnes team, to be honest. But I think Widnes just showed their quality. Great to see Christine scored a try too in his final game for the club before he retires. It's a good result for Widnes there to finish on a bit of a high, and they've now got to prepare for next season.
Without a doubt, mate. Obviously, Barrow 24, Batley 16. Disappointing for Batley. Batley have had a disappointing end. It's been tragic with loss of Archie Bruce, but from a club perspective, they really need to pull themselves together and get ready for next year, because it could be a tough season unless they really have a good shake-up at Batley.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame there for the Batley Bulldogs. 3 consecutive losses there, and they've now finished in 10th place. Great result for Barrow, again to reward their loyal fans. I think there was over 1,200 fans there on the day, which was good to support them, because we know that they knew going into the game they're relegated into League One next season. So it's another rebuild there for Paul Creary and his staff. But yeah, look, it was a good performance there from the Barrow Raiders. Yeah, Barrow just had too much class on the day. They just had enough quality there.
Looking towards the playoffs, mate, it's 2 massive games this week.
Yeah, huge games.
Toronto get the week off, and it's Leigh versus Featherstone. Now, I wouldn't have thought Featherstone would have finished in 5th, but they've dropped down.
Yep.
Who wins that game?
Well, I think
I'm going to go Leigh. Only because I know you're going to go Featherstone.
Well, I was thinking Featherstone, but I was going to say Featherstone, but I think a lot will depend on players' availability.
Yes.
I think the fact they've lost 3 key players on the weekend there. Brad Day, Cooper, and Cameron King, who's very, very pivotal. Cameron King to the Featherstone. He's been outstanding for them this season, the hooker. So I think if he's missing, that's a massive dent, massive blow to that Featherstone side. So I think if they get all them 3 back in, I'm going to tip Featherstone to beat Leigh at Leigh. I think if they're missing, I'm tipping Leigh.
So basically, he's sitting right on the fence.
No, but I really do.
Who's going to win?
I really do. Well, I've told you.
Win? No.
I've told
You've got to pick one.
You've
got to pick one.
Featherstone are full strength.
No. Pick one. Leigh or Featherstone. Who's going to win?
I'm tipping. Well,
no. Pick one.
I'm going to tip Leigh.
Tipping Leigh.
Because I don't think they're.
I'll go Fed then.
I don't think they're.
To be different.
I just don't think. I don't think them 3 are going to recover, because I believe some of them were head knocks, weren't they?
Right.
So I'm not sure they're going to recover in time to play. But I'm sticking by my word. If them 3 play and they're at full strength, Featherstone are going to win.
You just said Leigh.
If not, it's Leigh. But I don't think they're going to.
You're going to go Leigh then.
So I'm going Leigh.
All right. The other playoff, Hendo, Toulouse versus York.
Yep.
Who wins that game?
Well, I'm tipping Toulouse at home. I think Toulouse.
I'm going to go York. I believe in James Ford.
Nice.
I believe in the boys. I believe in Connor Robinson. I think that they've been on such a journey, and I think that York are going to do it this week.
Well, I think, look, to give York a chance, if they're going to go there and get the result done, then they have to slow the tempo of the game down.
Yeah.
That's going to be key for them. They've got to make it messy. They've got to make it grubby, and they're going to have to get the back of a good kicking game off Connor Robinson. He needs to be turning them boys around, and they need to complete high, finish their sets well, and just really front load defensively.
Into those
but that's if they're going to win. That's what they're going. Well, that's what they're going to have to do, Simone, if they're going to get the result. Because we know with Toulouse at home, especially at home on the dry track, they love to create tempo and play flat and fast.
They're excellent.
And if they get that roll on and play flat and fast, and
tough play.
Jonathan Ford, yes, if he's playing, and obviously Robben and obviously Carell at the back, Ford. You know what I mean? The pivots there, mate. They get off the back of that, they go forward and they're offloading, and they're a very, very difficult team to manage and to handle, mate, if they're on the front foot. But York have got every chance, as you know.
Yeah.
But I think Toulouse at home and the manner in which they've been playing in recent weeks, I think their form suggests that they should get this one done.
Well, we'll find out next week, and then it's on to the next round. Toronto will come in. We'll see what happens there. Thanks for watching so much right here. We'll see you next week, and we'll review the games. This weekend, do not forget, Toulouse versus York, Saturday, 2 p.m. on our league. And then Leigh versus Featherstone, Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on Sky Sports. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week.